know who you are and what you want, the less you let things upset you.
Right then, so welcome to another month of Martin's Movements. So this will be the August edition. So you find me down on the Syndicate. Obviously coming off the back of a 48 down Orchid and a 48 down Manor on the Alinea complex. Decided to obviously finish my week off down on the Syndicate. Now, conditions are completely different as to the last couple of days, and to be honest, it's looking good for a bite. I've seen fish close in down to my right hand side, and I've got 2 rods out on the normal long range spot. Now I need to keep this intro quite short and sweet really, because after using the camera for most of the week, the battery light's just bloody flashing at me, so I don't even know how long it's going to last. But I'm back in the swim where I had those 2 20+ commons, so I know the spot's quite wild. There is a horrible southwesterly blowing right to left, which makes casting out obviously a bloody nightmare. But finally I got them out there and I fouled them down and they went down nice. So I managed to get some gear over the top of them earlier as well. So it's all, the rods are out and they're rocking, to be fair. It's just looking quite moody. Nice strong wind blowing down into this corner. I've got one flicked out just down to my right hand side, about 44 yards. I found a real nice clean area, and then obviously my 80-yard spot, similar to the last couple of weekends that I was down here, and it's done me fish. So the rods are rocking, they're on the spot, everything's out of the way, home's set up, brolly with the makeshift wrap on it, got the radio on. Matt's kindly sorted me out 4 cans, just chilling. Cheers, Matt. I'm sure we'll have one of those later each. So obviously yesterday was my birthday. I've had a really good week on the bank. So let's try and finish off this weekend in style with a fish out the Syndicate. You know, it's a bit hit and miss down here at the best of times, but I've had a good run of success lately, and I'm feeling confident after this week's, you know, 2 fish from Orchid, and then obviously that little one snatched at the end from Manor. So I'm on a bit of a roll, I'm feeling confident. So let's leave it there. I'll catch up with you hopefully through the weekend, as long as this battery holds out. My actual charger hasn't got much battery left in that either, so I might be able to quickly stick an extra bar on this, hopefully, just to keep it topped up in case anything does happen. But fingers crossed, and obviously if anything does happen, you guys will be the first to know about it. So
And the more you know who you are and what you want, the less you let things upset you.
glorious morning. Everything's packed down pretty much, bar the rods and the rucksack, but absolutely roasting hot. No wind whatsoever, and as you can see, the lake flat calm. Rods are still out, mind you, because we're on a shallower spot over some gravel, so I'm going to give it another hour really, and then decide to reel in. Obviously the rods stay out to the last minute, everything else goes away first. But yeah, as you can see, beautiful blue skies. Obviously ideal for packing up. Everything's dried down, cleaned down, ready to be stored away for another week. But yeah, it's a shame not to have a fish, to be fair. I would have liked to have finished the session on a high, but just the way it goes sometimes. This place can be moody at the best of times, and I've had a few fish over the last few weeks from here, so I can't really complain. It's just nice to really kind of get the momentum rolling when you think you've had a few and you think you might have sussed it and got an area going. Just push you back to square one again, you have to start all over again. But there's still an hour or so, so you never know. Stranger things have happened. But yeah, everything's dry, everything's packed down, all done for another week. So I'll leave it there, and hopefully I'll catch up with you maybe over the next couple of weekends, because obviously then we've got the bank holiday, and to be honest, this place usually gets quite busy over bank holiday, and I don't usually like getting down here, to be fair, and kind of being, you know, not really having choice of swims and stuff like that. So I probably might leave it bank holiday, maybe go for a couple of days here and there, depending on the weather and stuff like that and plans. But yeah, thanks for obviously watching my other videos, if you've watched them yet, the ones from this week, so the orchid one, the linear one. Obviously this one goes out monthly, so try and keep you up to date with bits and pieces if I get out in the week, or you know, over the next couple of weeks in between these syndicate sessions. But yeah, until then we'll catch up soon, and as always, just subscribe to my channel if you want. Drop me a message over on my Facebook page, you know, come and say hello. Always up for a chat, anything carpy related. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll catch up with you probably next week. Cheers. Right then, good evening everybody. Not long finished work, it's a Friday night, and you catch me back down the syndicate. Got the brolly up. Typically, as it does, you know, you're getting around to the lake and you're choosing swim in the heavens, decided to open, so quickly chuck that up to keep everything dry. I'm not in any rush down on the syndicate to get the rods out, because once they're out, I like them to stay out at least for 24 hours before I redo them. What I'd like to know that everything's you know, cock on as such, and everything's sort of bang on. Now I'm on a swim known as Churn. It's on the sort of back end, one of the furthest away from the car park, and it's where I had that £19 common, the one that was sort of the first of the 3 commons I had over like a couple of weeks period. Now just been had a quick lead around. I know there's a spot out there, 14 wraps. I had that fish off, and I've just put a lead out there at 14 wraps, and my god, I think that dead weed's disappeared, because it goes down with a nice donk. Now it must be sort of really hard, firm silt. It just glides back. There's no sort of chinking of, you know, dropping over gravel or anything, but it goes down really, really firmly. So I'm really happy with that spot. Obviously, it done me a fish a number of weeks ago, and I'm more than happy to stick 2 rods on that. I've had a little pan left to right over like a 3 or 4 rod length sort of distance, and it's pretty much the same throughout, so I'm really happy with that spot. Obviously I know it's a feeding area that the fish have visited before, because like I say, I've had that common, so I'm more than happy to fish that area with 2 rods. So I've just put about, I don't know, 3/4 of a kilo out on that of 15mm and 10mm boilie, manila, trusty manila. Got the utmost faith in that bait and confidence in that bait now. And obviously going with the trusty manila pop-ups, 2 hinge stiffs over that. So just going to get the old rigs sorted out, get them baited up, sticks are in, rods are waiting, get these rigs sorted, and fingers crossed we're in with a fish or 2 this weekend. I know the swim's done a few fish over the last few weeks, so I'm feeling hopeful that I might be able to nick one myself, to be fair. So let's shut up rabbiting on now. Let's get these rigs sorted, get these rods out, kick back and relax. It's been quite a long week after my week away, obviously the week before, so it's obviously been hard to get back into the swing of things, but let's see if we can wangle a fish out this weekend, and I'll obviously keep you updated as the weekend progresses. So I'll get these rigs sorted and I'll catch up with you shortly. Right then, so the rods have probably been out, what, 3 hours, and there's one in the bag already. 18.5 common, taken on a margin rod. Heard the alarm go, just led there, just been listening to the radio and stuff, just heard the alarm go, looked round, the rod was absolutely just hooped round, lifted into it with a bit of side strain, and thankfully it's come out into open water. Let's have a look at the reward. Oh, it's been absolutely lashing down so far. Pristine little common. Just get a bit of water on him. I've already had to sacrifice a pair of socks because I was straight on the rod. But there we go, look at that. 18.5 common. Pristine little bar of gold. Taken on a manila wafter, on a real hard clean patch. Couple of catties of freebies of 10 mils and matching what the 15-16 mils, and yeah, white manila pop up, and this one was away. It's the other side. Look at him, pretty little 18.5 common. Absolutely buzzing to have one within the first few hours. Last night just absolutely battered down most of the night, to be fair. Lake's looking pretty good for a bite again today as well. Nice breeze on the water, sun's out, drying everything off, and I've got 3 rods on the money. Got 1 down the margin, 2 out to a spot about 14 or so wraps out. There's apparently been fished already this week and seen bait, so you never know, they might just be revisiting that area if there's been some bait going on it on the last in the last couple of days. But yeah, it's looking good for a bite. Gonna sit it out again till tomorrow, sort of midday-ish, depending on obviously what's happening and what's going on. But not much else has happened over the course of the lake, around the lake. No one else has had anything as far as I'm aware of. It's me and 3 others on, and so it's not that pressure. I've got a lot of, not say a lot of water, but I've got a nice expanse of water to myself. And I have seen 2 shows this morning relatively close in, to be fair, on a similar sort of line, and I just quickly stuck a lead on the spawn rod just to have a little mess around, just see if I could find a likely area that they're showing over. But it's quite weedy, to be fair, so I think I'm going to stick with fishing my 14 wrap spot and sticking with that, and maybe sticking another 5 spawns worth of bait. I've prepped another 5 spawns worth of bait this morning, just got that glugging up nicely, so that'll go out later around sort of 1-2 o'clock-ish, depending on what's going on. But yeah, so I'm feeling confident now. Like I say, I don't usually have a fish on the first night, so yeah, I'm happy. The rods are out, the rods are fishing, so let's see what the day has in store. And obviously if anything does happen, I'll come back to you straight away, obviously with the camera, and show you what's going on. But until then, let's enjoy this sunshine. So another glorious Sunday morning, but unfortunately no wet mats or no wet slings this morning. Quiet night all round, turned really clear last night, the stars were right out, and temperature, it dropped down. I felt it, to be fair. I wish I had my wrap with me, obviously my overthrow for the bed, because didn't half get chilly, I tell you. So but yeah, nothing happened. Quiet night all around. I can't really say I've seen many shows this morning either, to be fair. It's all looking pretty quiet out there. Just commencing pack down. Gonna be out of here by 12 latest. Everything's a bit of a mess all over the show, but as normal, I like to make sure everything's all kind of in its place and packed down, ready to be put away when I get home, really. But you never know, the rods are still out, they might go yet. Don't know if I'm coming down with something though. I don't feel the greatest, to be fair. I feel a bit ropey, so thinking I've had a fish, so I'm happy. But like I say, I'm going to be packed down by like midday and just chill out, I think, for the rest of the day. Obviously been in it quite hard lately for me anyway, you know, like a week on the bank, and then pretty much every weekend since then, before and after. So I don't know if I'm going to do bank holiday yet. It all depends on who's down here and what's available swim wise, etc. I might keep it local and maybe do like a couple of day sessions sort of here and there, maybe down like a couple of the park lakes round by me, and just see what happens, to be fair. But you never know, it might be feeling fresh by the end of next week, so I might just get down here anyway. But obviously I'll leave it there. If anything happens in between then and now, I'll come back to you. but if not, thanks for watching this little episode. I'll try and get some filming done, depending on what I do next weekend, as and when. But yeah, as always, go and check out my other videos as well, with the orchid ones up. The linear one and the day session one won't be really that far behind, so make sure you subscribe to my channel as well. But until then, just going to sort this pack down. Happy days. So literally the rods were on the deck, everything else was on the wheelbarrow. Just sat there cleaning up the alarms. They're full of muck from Friday night's rain, and this one absolutely rips off. £26 9-ounce mirror, but none of us are quite sure which fish it is yet, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of research on this one. But look at this, absolutely blown away. £26 9 ounces. I am absolutely buzzing. This is why the members of this water fish this place, because it holds gems like this, proper old Oxfordshire carp, scaly mirrors, and absolute stunners. Just flipping around, show you the other side. Just passing the bait out on the mat. So you obviously fancied a mid-morning munch, but look at him. Oh, what a banger. £26 9 ounces, and it's absolutely made my weekend. Feeling ill's now long gone, distant memory. This has just made me absolutely happy this weekend. Happy days. Slipping back. Oh wow, you're never going to believe that, are ya? Literally the rods are on the deck, literally like what, 5 minutes? Just wiping down the alarms and stuff, cleaning off the muck off the alarms, and it's just absolutely tore off. The spool's just spinning, smoke coming off it. It was that savage. It's gone over under my other rod. I've had to get that one over my head, and then it's weeded itself up for a couple of minutes, and absolute carnage. Typical, isn't it? The minute you take the rods off the sticks, and all hell let loose. So obviously both the ones out in front, they're both in now. Obviously had to reel that other one in, got that one out of the way quickly whilst that fish was weeded up for a minute. Obviously that other rod's done now, because obviously that had to bite the line and stuff just to sort that fish out in the net. So I've got this one last remaining rod, just tucked down the margin. Also we're sorting that fish out on the mat and doing some pictures and that. There were fish showing around the corner, so going to give it an hour just to sort of dry that stuff off. Really, it'd be rude not to leave this rod out and see if anything happens. Everybody else now has disappeared, so it's literally only me here. So yeah, let's give it an hour, sit on this rod, just sort the other two out whilst we're seeing if this one rattles off, and that'll be the end of that. But what a result. £26 9 ounces, absolute banging mirror. It's passing out bait on the mat as well, so clearly he moved over and had a little munch up. But would it be rude to ask for another one on this rod? Who knows, fingers crossed. But let's see what happens over the next hour or so, and you never know, luck may well and truly be in. But yeah, buzzing from that, absolutely buzzing. It's been a while since I've had my hands on a mirror. Just been catching commons recently, so living it now, absolutely loving life. So let's leave that one out. Fingers crossed we can nick another one. Let's be rude and ask for another one, why not? But let's get all the gear packed up and sorted out, so I'll catch up with you soon. Cheers guys. Oh, I just don't know what's going on. So I was sat there, wasn't I, telling you about that lonely rod left on its own, and look what we've got here. We've only gone and done it. Absolutely hooped round. I was just packing the rod into the rod holdall, and the rod literally hooped round, and we have a nice common in the net, real nice common. It's got to be pushing 20 at least, surely. Real nice fish. Only one down here on my own. Oh, absolutely buzzing. 3 fish in a session, that just don't happen really, to be fair. But yep, only one down here. Absolute banger in the net. Let's get it out and have a look, and might need to make a phone call or two, see if I can get someone down to pop down and have some pictures. But let's see what it goes first, and we'll go from there. I'll catch up with you shortly. So, as I was showing you, that remaining rod was out on the deck. Probably been out, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes, whilst I was just sorting out these other rods, and it's rattled off with this 24 pound 2 ounce common. Look at that, the last remaining rod out, 24 pound 2 ounce bar of gold. Absolutely hooped that rod round like you wouldn't believe. Look at it, absolute banger of a fish. Oh, buzzing, literally the only one left down here, the only rod left out, and this one has rattled off. Oh, happy days, 3 fish in a session. I am buzzing like you would not believe. Let's flip it around, show you the other side. Oh, such a beautiful creature, just scale perfect in every shape and form. Oh, manila, sticky manila. Tell you what, you just can't fault it. Wafter on a real nice clean spot. And there we go. Look at him. 24 pound 2 ounces. Oh, banging. Come on, what a weekend. Well, good morning. So it's a Saturday morning, bank holiday weekend, and the last instalment of Martin's movements for August. So been lucky enough to be given a 48-hour guest session on one of the guys from down the normal syndicate. Been lucky enough to be given 48-hour guestie on one of his other waters. Now, never set eyes on the place before. Obviously tells me bits and pieces of what's been happening when we fished together down down the normal syndicate, and I was never going to turn down the opportunity of getting the rods out on a new water. So we got here yesterday, probably about 5:30, and had a little look around and decided where we're going to plot up. There are two other members on as well. One is due to be leaving this morning. It was nice because we got to see a fish as well. One of the guys over there on the other side of the bank, he had a fish on as we were setting up, so we quickly just put our rods down and whatever else we were doing, and went and got the boat for him because he got a little bit weeded up, and that was nice to see. Nice to see him eventually get it in after a short weedy tussle. Nice 20+ common, pristine condition, really nice fish. So that was good, and obviously nice to see that the fish are on the move and active and feeding, etc. We've seen a fair few shows this morning, to be honest. I've just been watching the water. It's dead calm, no wind or nothing. It's literally as flat as you like, and we've been seeing all the sly little rolls and shows and stuff like that. So I've got 3 rods out. Got 2 just going off to my left. I found a real nice clean area that'll fit 2 rods, and I've got 1 going straight out in front, which is another clean area, but it will only really sort of fit 1 rod on it, to be fair. So didn't go gung-ho with the bait last night. Put about, I don't know, 20-30 baits over the rod going straight out, and over the other one maybe about 50-60 baits, just all catapult length. I ain't fishing no more than 40 yards. I think I've got 1 at basically 7.5 wraps and 1 just over 10 wraps, so all close quarter fishing, all within catapult range. It's not a very big water. I think it's about 5 acres or so tops, so it's looking good for a bite. We're going to go maybe do a bit of stalking and stuff today, because Matt seems to think that there's some good opportunities of stalking down here if the conditions are right. So I got a load of pellet on me and stuff, so we might go and prime a couple of spots and see if we can get some fish moving up and down, and visiting certain little areas to see if we can pick 1 or 2 off. But going to treat it like a session, like I say, down the road on my normal syndicate, and just try and nick myself a fish, and that'll be enough for me. So yeah, guess we're going to just leave it there really for now. Everything sort of fishing out the back of the car, which is a rarity for me as well. I'm usually lugging my stuff all the way around to the back of the lake, the furthest swim away normally. So yeah, everything's kind of in the back of the car. I've just got the brolly in the bed up, to be fair, and bits and pieces that I need. I'm just getting out the boot, so that's quite nice to have quite a tidy swim. But just have a quick show you around. So yeah, pretty much fishing out the back of the boot. Everything's in there, all the usual jazz, essentials, obviously brew kit without fail, and yeah, got the rods out. Just going straight out in front, 7 and a bit wraps, towards that lowest dip just here, 7 and a bit, and I've got 2 going out, 10 wraps just over here. Real nice clean firm area. Got 3 hinge stiffs on, and all on white manila pop-ups, tried and trusted. Matt reckons they have a bit of white in here, so you know, it'd be silly not to go with local knowledge. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at this morning. Had a couple of brews already. I think the 3rd one's due anytime soon. But just chill out for an hour, get some breakfast on the go, the usual jazz. See what the weekend has in store. I think we're going to stay down maybe, you know, at least till Sunday, tomorrow, mid-afternoon, late afternoon. There's no real rush to be off, to be fair. So let's see what the weekend has in store, and I'll catch up with you over the course of the weekend. Fingers crossed for a fish. I've been quite lucky lately, so let's see if we can keep that luck on side, and may long it continue. I'll catch up with you in a bit. Good evening. So Saturday night, and rods are back out on the spots. It's been a bit of an uneventful day, really, to be honest. Kind of been chasing shadows, really, to be fair. We had a couple of fish mooching around up in the bay, up at a sort of a top end, and tried to get them going on the floaters, put a few pouches out. 1 or 2 are mooching around just underneath them, and just weren't showing any interest in the slightest, to be fair. So we persevered, a few more pouchfuls out, started to take 1 or 2, and then just done the off. So that pretty much died a death, and fish just didn't really return, to be honest. And we went for a little look around around the bay area, sort of all the way around the back, and where we've been baiting a few spots in the margins, and none of the bait's been touched either, so it doesn't look like, you know, they've snuck in there at any point throughout the day and got their heads down on any of the bit of like pellet and broken boilie and stuff that we've put down. So that was all there earlier when I went and had a look. Tried zigs down there, took a couple of rods down there, tied a couple of sort of 8 foot or so zigs, and yeah, nothing really materialised. Like I say, we see a few fish mooching around in there, you know, not just sunning themselves, but you know, just zipping around. So I thought, well, I might be in with a chance of nicking one on a zig, but nothing actually happened with that either. Sort of they just done the off, just didn't see anything in there for a good couple of hours after that. So maybe a missed opportunity, I'm not quite sure, or whether they were just, like I say, coming through and just turning around and going straight back out. But you never know. It's better than being sat behind static rods as such. The rods are now out, fishing the same spots as last night. So what was that, 10 wraps on one, and sort of seven wraps on the other one. We've all gone down with a nice firm thud, nice firm drop, so I know they're fishing. Topped it up with a bit of bait last night, this morning, or this afternoon even. Last night I only put out sort of catapults and stuff of bait, really. Didn't really put too much bait out in the sense of you know, trying to overdo it or anything like that. Just went out with a few pouches of boilie and stuff, just to see if I can nick a bite, really. But tonight I've gone and put my sort of usual mix out, what I use down the syndicate, and see if I can generate any interest that way. So that's the left-hander in the middle with bait over it, and the right-hander just got a spread of boilie and sort of 14 millers, 15 millers and 10 millers. So that's what I'm looking at this evening. The rods are out. Probably going to get some food on the go shortly. It's been a long day, a lot of walking around, a lot of climbing trees, bits and pieces, seeing if you can see anything happening. But yeah, it's all been quiet. Fingers crossed for a bite, because I would like to nick a fish. Just that I'm feeling quite confident at the moment, obviously with various places that I've been visiting, and obviously, you know, it going really well down the syndicate and stuff. So I am feeling a little bit confident of a bite, and obviously got confident in the rigs and the bait, etc. So it does help. Half debating whether to get down the syndicate tomorrow after here for one cheeky night. Sort of got to be off it by 10 o'clock Monday morning. So I'm half deciding in my head whether it's worth it or not. I haven't got my barrow on me, because you can fish out of the back of the car here. So Yeah, I'm thinking about Fisher Show then. I'm thinking about doing a night down the Syndicate. Might be able to nick a bite, but that all depends whether a certain swim's free really, and whether I can get back in there. So I'll leave it at that for now. Shut up rabbiting on. Gonna just enjoy a nice cool calm evening. Everything's sort of flat calm here. Just got the radio on, just having a couple of ciders with Max. Obviously it's been a while since we've caught up, so I'll catch up with you, fingers crossed, hopefully through the night. If not, hopefully one of these rods will go by the morning. So I'll catch up with you shortly. So it's Sunday morning, and really quiet night. Literally didn't have any crashes, no boshes, no liners, no nothing, no one else's alarms. It was just, yeah, pretty much dead all over, to be honest. It was a really mild night, literally, like, I'm only under the brolly anyway, but you could just, before you could tell that it was a little bit colder with the clear skies, but it was lovely and warm last night. And we've seen obviously them fish, etc., cruising around yesterday. We would have thought something would have happened, but nothing at all. We didn't even hear any boshes really through the night either, which is a shame compared to the previous night. They were a lot more active on that front. But I've just come down to this quiet little bay area just behind me, just to have a look to see if they've been on the bait that I've been putting into the margins on various different spots. Now I've come down to the first one, hasn't been touched. There's like a marginal slope just, and then it just drops off, and then the weeds start. So what I've been doing is just going around a few of these swims around here, just putting in like a handful of just like halved baits and a handful of pellet, just setting little traps just where the gravel meets the weed. So it's pretty obvious that obviously this, you know, it's going to be an area that would be visible to the fish if they come across it. And Matt mentioned that obviously the fish do patrol up and around these margins, and just obviously where the gravel meets the weed, they do have a little bit of a munch up and offer a stalking opportunity. But I'll just turn the camera around. There's a bit of scum on the surface now, so you can't really see the bait. Just stick that on there. But that's what you're looking at. So it's all gravelly, and it just goes down into weed. But just in the sort of out of shot area, you can see pretty much all my half baits, to be fair. It's not, like I say, there's a bit of scum and the light ain't in the right place to be able to clearly see it, but like I say, just along the edge of that gravel to where it meets the weed. Here's my bits in my bait, and you know, it ain't been touched, nothing's been down there. And Matt's got a bait over on one of the far sides as well from where he's fishing, and nothing, to be honest. So just gonna have a quick look around, go and climb up one of the trees on the other side, because it gives you a bit of visibility, as better viewing point into this little bay, and see if anything's in there, or looks like anything's been in and around on the other baited areas as well. But it's not looking good at the moment. We're thinking of even just calling this session a day a bit earlier than expected, to be fair, because yeah, it's one of them where sometimes you just got to cut your losses and you know, accept that the conditions really probably aren't playing into your hands. So let's have a little scoot around the other side and see if there's anything happening or anything been visiting the area. And I'll flick the camera back on and show you what's been occurring. see, back in the car. Milked it for a good couple of hours, to be fair. It's just coming up to 10 o'clock now and it's absolutely roasting already. We're not going to really waste much more time or sort of waste any more of the day. The sun is well and truly up. It's not going to be as cloudy as they reckoned it was going to be, and it's absolutely roasting already. So we've done a nice pack down, everything's clean and dry, etc., and we're just going to make our way home now. Got Sunday and Monday left, so I've got no real plans at the moment. So obviously might think about getting out on one or two quick little floater sessions, but if not, then that'll be the end of August's Martin's movement. So on to September, back down Millmore Syndicate this so next weekend. So I'll catch up with you guys then. Thanks for watching this monthly instalment, and as always, appreciate any feedback, comments, likes, you know, the usual jazz. So thanks again, and I'll catch up with you next weekend. Cheers.